we're not nuts. It's just you can't leave an injured brother without helping him, so here.
Brother?
Of course. We're Pokemon, right?
My nigga.
Ah yes, Pokemon, a franchise that needs no introduction because everyone should already know what it is since its initial release in 1996, or in 1998 in North America where I'm from, and has since become the highest grossing media franchise of all time, surprisingly even more than Star Wars.
Good job.
But I might as well give my personal history with the franchise. I grew up playing the first few games released in America, mainly Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Silver. Sadly though, I'm a little more old school than most Pokemon fanatics, as I've only gotten so far with the video games. I've played all the games from Red and Blue up to Emerald, and only have gotten a small glance at the games they have now. I only played a little bit of Sun and Moon when I got it the Christmas of that year, and only a small fraction of Diamond and Pearl, so sad to say I have not picked them up since. But I promise I will soon. I will say though, that when Diamond and Pearl first came out, I was at the peak of my Pokemon obsession, having so many Pokemon cards, merchandise, having a massive collection of the TV series on VHS, and even having a Pokemon themed birthday party when I turned 10 years old. So yeah, I'm kind of a huge nerd. I even recently started playing the Detective Pikachu game, and I kind of like it, which is surprisingly getting a live action movie now in America with Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu.
Oh my god, you can understand me! Stop! I've been so lonely!
What kind of world are we living in now? I mean, don't get me wrong, a movie like this is kind of shocking, no pun intended, but it's not like we haven't seen anything like this before where Pikachu talks. If any of you have ever seen the movie Pokemon the Movie I Choose You, you know that Pikachu actually talks for a second.
It's because
The fuck?
I always want to be with you.
Seeing that in the theaters was one of the strangest experiences I had for me, my brother, and everyone else in the theater. And yes, it is one of the weirdest things to come from this franchise, and that's saying something for Pokemon. And yes, much like one famous scene from the first Pokemon movie, as silly as the scene is, it made me cry. But the main reason I'm talking about Pokemon today is that unlike the Detective Pikachu game, one of the first instances of Pokemon actually speaking verbal English was in the almost lost TV special from 2006 titled Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Go-Getters Out of the Gate. And I said almost forgotten because I thought I would have to dig deep to find a bootleg of this special somewhere on the internet, but luckily the Pokemon YouTube channel uploaded this special back in 2015 when the new Mystery Dungeon game came out. And yes, this special is based off an offshoot Pokemon franchise called Mystery Dungeon, in which a human wakes up to find that they've been turned into a Pokemon and joins a team of other English-speaking Pokemon who are part of a rescue team who help when natural disasters occur and also rescue missing or lost Pokemon. I assume this special was a way to get people who are more allured to the anime to actually play the games, but from judging this special nowadays, I'd say it wasn't in their best efforts. Because looking back at this, even if you like the original series, you'd agree there's nothing redeemable about this special. As stated before, this is about a boy, or possibly girl, it's never explained who, but I'll assume he wakes up to realize he's been turned into a Squirtle. He's eventually saved by a Chikorita and Charmander, whom also speak English and want to recruit him for their Pokemon rescue team, Team Go-Getters. Apparently in this world, whenever natural disasters happen or when Pokemon need rescuing, the rescue teams come to rescue. So I can assume Pokemon kidnapping happens regularly? That's not a very pleasant world you're setting up for this kids TV special. Now I know what you're thinking, Team Rocket kidnapped Pokemon in every episode, so why would it be any different? Well, keep in mind, a human kidnapping a Pokemon is like kidnapping a pet, where in this world there are no humans to speak of. A Pokemon kidnapping a Pokemon is just like a regular kidnapping. Pretty damn scary when you think about it, but that's just me. The case they're meant to solve is to rescue a Pichu's older brother Pikachu after being kidnapped by a Skarmory, and the only thing getting in their way is the rival team called Team Meanie, which consists of a Gengar, Ekans, and Medicham. And the rest of this half-hour special is your own run-of-the-mill kid show adventure. As mentioned before, all the Pokemon here speak verbal English, and they reuse actors from the current seasons airing at the time, but even Pokemon talking is weird because it doesn't always follow its own rules. After they already established that Pokemon can all talk to each other, the heroes go into a cave where a bunch of Shroomish are sleeping. Yet when they wake up, they all say their names over and over again. So what rules is this special following now? Are we following Pluto rules, where even though Goofy and Pluto are both dogs, only one of them acts and is treated like a real-life dog? Make up your mind, Pokemon.
And for a talking Pokemon, I've sure got a big mouth.
And yes, even the Pikachu talks.
Pichu, take out what's in the treasure bag and drop it.
Huh?
and hurry up!
Let this clip be a reminder that the person who carried on this trend was Ryan Reynolds.
Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
One of the more distracting things about the special is how cheap it seems. I kind of expected them to reuse regular Pokemon voice actors for this special, but the quote-unquote opening theme to this special is where it shows the American distribution company took control. First off, the music is very much resemblant of a heroic stock music, and instead of this special having nice visuals like most of the seasons released around this time, they just reuse clips from this episode. You know, at least the Toonami opening of Pokemon Chronicles had a kick-ass guitar riff playing over reused footage. And even worse, the clips they had to use were so bad at explaining the series, they had to use text boxes to explain the premise. And those word boxes are reused throughout the rest of the episode just to explain everything to the viewers who can't simply understand what's on the screen. I've seen a lot of other productions introduce characters this way, but the intro just makes it look especially cheap. But you know what's even weirder? This English version I was watching aired 6 months before the Japanese broadcast. That seems totally switched. Like, why did they do that? Considering the internet knows very little about the special itself, the world may never know.
Being a Pokemon isn't half bad. Oh yeah, let me try this. Water gun. Bubble, huh? Those bubbles sure are pretty.
Oh yeah, and one of this special's biggest problems is the main protagonist. We understand that he woke up as a Squirtle and he doesn't understand why, but he barely even questions it. In fact, the second time he wakes up, after we can assume he passed out before the opening theme started, he just kind of accepts it. I probably understand his motives better if he assumed he was dreaming and having fun with it, but we never see him question it or show any more concern. He's more concerned if he's capable of shooting water gun instead of bubble.
More bubbles. You know, they're still pretty.
Nothing ever bothers you, does it?
No, not really. I like everything.
Hey kids, I got a secret. Wanna know how to make a diehard Pokemon fan really pissed off? Show them this scene.
Oh, is that so? Go Arbok!
Are you kidding me?
How hard is it for these people who have dubbed this series for years to not tell the difference between an Ekans and an Arbok? It's your job to make this stuff accurate for American viewers, and you couldn't fix that? Maybe I'm overanalyzing that little thing, but even before I saw this again for the first time in 13 years, I remember them getting that wrong and being annoyed by it, being the nerd that I was. And you know, for as much as this series tried to be something different for an ongoing anime series, it tried little to be something of a great imagination or even consistency. But then again, this might have been a start to an offshoot Pokemon series for kids who have the brain power at the same level as Paw Patrol. And I'm sure what was developed in this was meant to continue because it ends with a bumper saying the series would continue. But I guess this so-called pilot was so not worth the effort because it was eventually reduced to a TV special. I'm sure I'm the only person who remembers this special aside from like the million views the video has on YouTube as of right now, but maybe it could shed some light onto those who have forgotten it, for better or for worse. Let's just hope Ryan Reynolds can deliver something that us Pokemon fans can be satisfied with. As for me, I'll be perfectly satisfying putting whatever raunchy dialogue Deadpool says over this Pikachu for a long time.
I've never said this, but don't swallow.
Stupid! Worth it.
I will say though that when Diamond and Pearl, oh, hold up, gotta kill Moth. My parents are probably gonna be asking about that when I'm done.